I have a fig tree and I'm blessed with a huge crop this year. I'm looking to make something savory that also feels like barbecue. I'm going to take my Memphis-Style Dry Rub and apply it to a pork tenderloin. Then I'm going to make a delicious fig topping. It may sound a little strange, but it actually works very well. I'll explain why a little bit later. Let's fix it. I'm going to be using 2 pork tenderloins for this recipe, sliced in half so they're pan-sized. Then we'll apply a nice generous coating of my Memphis-Style Dry Rub. So what goes into the dry rub? Funny you should ask. This Memphis-Style Dry Rub can be used for all sorts of dishes. Keep in mind you should have a lot of spice mix left over from this recipe. Okay, that's looking really good. And we're going to prep them for an overnight fridge cure. The overnight cure pulls some of the water out for a better sear, and also pulls the dry rub flavors in. This is a must for fully flavored meat. We're going to go into the fridge overnight, and helpful tip, make sure you have a carton of baking soda in the fridge to absorb odors. These spices will share their flavor with all of your food. Coming out of the fridge the next day, we're going to let this sit for about an hour and come up to room temperature for a more even cook. In the meantime, let's slice some figs. My fig tree is blackjack figs. These figs are really sweet, they have a pretty color, and the thing that's unique about them is they have kind of a hole in the bottom and they have an empty pocket inside. And when I'm looking in there, I want to make sure there's no mold or bugs going on there before I commit to using the fig in my recipe. So this will give you a better look. You can see that hole in the bottom is the perfect entry point for mold spores or ants. Aside from that, these figs are really delicious. I'm going to be using apple cider vinegar with the figs. I'm putting some in a measuring cup so it's easier to control the pour. I'm not going to use all of this, by the way. Back to the pork, we're going to go in a 325 degree Fahrenheit oven until the internal temperature reaches 130 degrees Fahrenheit, which takes about 20 minutes. We're reverse roasting the pork to 130 degrees Fahrenheit, and what this does is it prevents the sugars in the dry rub from burning. So we're out of the oven now, let's test the crust. We're going to sear the pork in avocado oil and bring it up to temperature. Our goals with the high temperature sear are to lock in the paprika bark and also to bloom the spices to maximize their flavor and intensify the flavor of the pork using a Maillard reaction. Let the pork sear for a couple minutes and then flip it over to check on progress. You don't want to let it sit too long on one side because you might burn the sugar in the dry rub. The pan is sounding a little dry, so I'm adding some more oil. I didn't really hear any pops from the oil anymore. And remember, one of our goals is to bloom the spices. You can't do that without oil. Now you can see some oil bleeding out from underneath the pork. It has that beautiful yellow color, which tells us the paprika and other spices are blooming nicely. If a little oil is good, more is better. We want to try to sear all sides of the pork, and then we also want to make sure the temperature is up to 140 degrees Fahrenheit before we pull it. After a few more minutes, let's do a temperature check. Looks like we have just under 140 for that one, around 138. And this one is at 141, so let's go ahead and pull it. And we'll sear the other one for another minute. Temperature check again. Looks like we're up to around 145. That's okay. We'll pull it now. And the other 2 pieces of pork tenderloin get seared the exact same way. The pork is done, and we're going to use that flavorful oil as a base for our fig topping. This part is super fast. You only saute for a minute or so, and then deglaze with the apple cider vinegar. You only need about a tablespoon of vinegar. It's a strong flavor, so it's easy to overdo, just be careful. Deglazing with apple cider vinegar drops the pH, which cuts the heavy capsaicin heat of our Memphis rub. This vinegar acid bridge binds paprika's earthy carotenoids to the fruit's floral sugars, fusing the pan fond into a complex savory sweet glaze. In other words, it's delicious. And really, that's all you need to do. I'll just let everything sit for a minute so the flavors combine, and we'll be ready to serve. It's time for plating. Let's check that crust. I'm going to cut the tenderloin into 1-inch medallions. When I was a kid, pork was supposed to be cooked until well done and tough as a hockey puck. But these days we go by temperature, 145 degrees Fahrenheit, pink, and very tender. I probably could have just dumped all the figs all at once, but I'm trying to make it look pretty for the camera. The perfect side dish for me has a bright green color and also an acidic bite to cut through all the savory of the pork. Sautéed spinach for the win. If you've been enjoying this video, please like and subscribe so you don't miss any delicious fixes. That dish is just spectacular. The pork is tender and juicy, so flavorful. The paprika comes through really nice, and so does the spice at the end. And the fig topping with the apple cider vinegar is just the perfect complement. Not too sweet, just a little bit acidic and sweet. It's just perfect with the pork. If you enjoyed this recipe and you'd like some other dry rub options, maybe try my Memphis-style barbecue chicken or my Mexican pulled pork. Both those recipes are shown right here. Thanks for watching.
What about bacon?
No.
Ham?
No.
Pork chop?
Dad, those all come from the same animal.
Oh, yeah, right, Lisa.